for what's to come. I keep talking about, oh, the springtime action, the trending markets that are coming. And I keep telling you guys about all these amazing things because, yeah, I've seen it pan out the same thing every single time for 6 years now, okay? But instead of just telling you, today, I want to go over and show you guys a really effective way to be prepared for what is coming literally right now, because it is February 15th. We're starting to get into the sink into the new year a good bit and get closer to that trending markets. Now what do we do? Number one, there's a new weapon that we will add, okay? There's a new weapon to our arsenal that we're going to add, and I believe it'll be very useful, especially for people that, if you miss a setup, you'll have more opportunities to correct that, to get that one really good setup in a week. Maybe you messed up a high quality setup before, and, this new weapon that we will add will basically just give you a few more chances to get it right and capitalize, okay? That's number one. Okay, number two, the 10 a.m. expansion setups. Okay, basically New York session, large range days, trending, going to be more frequent, and there's very specific moments where you want to take advantage of that in the trending markets. This past week, guys, that we traded with one another, obviously, like we do every single week, high quality setups without our quote unquote secret weapon. There was 3 of them that were A tier last week, right? As you guys saw, I only caught 2 of them. All right, and 2 was really, 1 was really all I needed. Now, we're going to find out with this new secret weapon, I don't even know yet, this past week, how many high quality setups there would have been added with our secret weapon, okay? That's what we're going to find out. All right, now, before I get started, this isn't an invitation to start taking more frequent trades and, going trigger happy. The point of this is this secret weapon will give you more opportunities to get it right in a week, right? If you missed a setup, oh, no big deal. This will give you, more chances. If you messed up an A-tier setup because you hesitated or whatever the case may be, you'll have more chances inside of the week. So here's the deal, guys. Before I show you the secret weapon, okay, I said that there was 3 high-quality setups per week last week that were A-tier that were absolutely something you want to take advantage of, right? And this is what we know on the surface level without that secret weapon, when we're going to find out if there was more that we could have caught with it, okay? Number 1 was Monday. Really easy, clear, smooth buying opportunity. I'm not going to review this because I already did that on WAP, okay? And we also obviously traded that live. Second one, I believe, was, Wednesday. That bullish Model 3 against these hourly highs here. Okay, that was pretty high resistance. I had to take a second attempt. That was the second high quality Model 3 opportunity. The third one was actually the one that I missed here on Thursday. And I want to specifically review Thursday because you're going to start seeing moves like this, both bullish and bearish, more frequent like this, right? And at a quicker time of day, meaning right at 10 a.m., if not 11 a.m., when it gives like a really crazy daily candle expansion move. Okay, now why did I miss the setup? Well, I can go back and say all the things, but the reality is I just got to the charts late because I wasn't expecting to trade this day because it was before CPI. That's all that's on my behalf. Going purely off the checklist, you'll find all the things that are coming together, and then we arrive at this 9:30 opening. Okay, and once again, why does any of this matter? You're going to start seeing more frequent moves like this. This Model 3 here that I'm about to briefly review before I give you guys the secret weapon, this right here like really embodies the type of moves that you want to take advantage of in the trending markets, right? Because we're just now stepping 1 foot inside of and getting a taste of those trending markets because we left this overall range. We started trending down to the downside. We had a natural retrace, and now we're trending back lower again. So we're just getting a first little fresh taste of what it's going to look like, okay? So these setups, okay, again, both bullish and bearish, it's irrelevant which side as long as it performs. You want to milk these out. Now, the difference between this setup here and all the January, December, and February Model 3s we've taken so far, what do you guys think it is? What stands out to you with this setup a lot more than all of our other Model 3 setups? Picture look at this, okay? Look at these lows, all these stacked lows. What stands out to you more on February 12th, guys, with this trending market type of move than all the base hits that we've been taking? Okay, smooth run, yeah, but that's not what I'm getting at. Here's what I'm getting at, guys. Here's the point. Yes, larger expansion. Yes, smooth movement like you guys said, of course, yes. But look at this. On January and February, right? Remember, we're just going for low-hanging fruit, right? We'll just go for like the first opposing swing high, and then we're out, and the market usually reverses and then bangs around after that, right? Those are the type of setups we're dealing with. In and out, surgical strikes, low-hanging fruit, and that's a great way to trade regardless, right? But you're going to get more frequent large range Model 3s like this, where it has obvious stacked lows here. What do we have here? We have one really high quality low in the market here. Why is this really high quality? Very simple. Old session low. This is the Asian session low. Take a look at the time where this low was created. Boom. That's number one. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? And in usual markets, we'll just come down and tag that first obvious draw and then probably again reverse or continue to consolidate. And then we'd be done with the day. That's not the case for these trending markets, guys. Look at this Model 3. Not only do we have this trend line, not only do we have an Asia low internal right here, but we also had a previous daily low stack below and another old daily low stack below. My point being, guys, there's a lot more opportunity on the table in terms of larger trades and holding runners, right? You guys haven't seen me hold runners much in this range-bound action, right? It's been in and out, base hits. You guys know the rest. For this example, though, there's so many things generated intact for this large range move to really encapsulate it. Look, it offers from the entry that I'm going to get to in a minute, 338 down to here, 500 points, right? You don't need to catch every single one of these large range expansion moves, guys. You're gonna miss a lot of them, in fact. But all that matters is those few that you do catch, right? You don't know if it's always gonna laser through all the targets this quickly, but I do know we're gonna get trending large moves that you do want to take advantage of more frequently like this, right? Again, number one, all the lows are left behind. Daily lows, internal lows. Okay. Dropping down. Price came up. Boom. Smashes out an old session high. Okay. Very simple. Came out, swept internal highs. Boom. If that wasn't enough, came up again. Swap out the 7 o'clock high, and then we create a clear change of state delivery. Now we're just getting to a point where it's like, oh, okay, yep, this is basic Model 3 information 101. Change of state delivery. We're above the opening price. Okay. Now here's the real thing that you should add to your bag with the Model 3s. Again, in a trending market. This is the one that you're going to be seeing a lot more in the trending markets. Very smooth, large range Model 3s. And again, how do you utilize this? Well, you can hold on to it. You can hold runners. You can milk it out. And it's going to... that's where the big P&L type of days seep in, okay? And where I'd look to be, striving for that once we get to these type of markets, okay? And this is the sneak peek, right? Clear change of state delivery. After we swept out a key high, and here's the opening price. Now, where you're going to capture this Model 3 is just at, ideally above, the midnight opening price, or if it doesn't offer that, okay, look at the high that it creates above the midnight opening. Again, that's right here, 359. Boom, anchor that down, 359. Okay, so the low right here is like your baseline. This is where you're going to catch inside of this range right here. This is where you're going to catch majority of your really, really high quality trending range. Okay, again, in those trending markets that are coming, I'm getting you guys prepared right now because you want to take advantage of these type of setups when they do perform, whether they're bullish or bearish. This range here, from the high that's created out of midnight, in a bearish example, vice versa for bullish. The high that was created out of above midnight project that down, this is where the optimal shorts to then hold on for these huge moves are going to come in. Just at, ideally above, or in that swing projection of the midnight opening, okay? So let's go ahead and drop down now, because again, everything's checked off the checklist. I just overviewed that briefly. And I promise I'm going to get to the secret weapon, but I want to get you guys prepared for these type of moves because again, you want to take advantage. Okay, you're not going to catch every single 600-point move, but that's not the point of this. You don't need to, okay? It's just about the few, again, like I explained, that you do catch and milk out and take advantage of, okay? It's not only, oh, we just have that base hit down here with the Asia low and the trend line build up here. It's so obvious, right? Nope, we had previous daily low hovering below, and we had an old Monday, February 9th generated low. So this is whenever you want to encapsulate these moves, guys. Whenever we've generated a plethora of key opposing stacked lows in a bearish example or key opposing stacked highs in a bullish example. See, now we get down to the entry. Okay, now let me take off a few lines here. Now remember, these were your key draws in liquidity. I want you guys to take note of where the entry was versus all the key stacked daily lows below. And remember, we don't have these in the January, February markets, right? It's just, again, for the third time, it's just base hits, low-hanging fruit. For this one, you're aiming for a bunch of key higher time frame old daily lows, right? So remember that this was the swing projection, guys, from the midnight opening. This is like the cutoff for taking shorts, basically, unless you're catching a Model 4. Okay, this line right here. Well, going by the checklist, again, here's your midnight opening. Here's your 9:30 opening. We manipulated above both of them. Boom. After that manipulation below that hourly candle is finished, we then expand. There's your light bulb. Okay, we don't even need the secret weapon for these type of setups, nor will most of the time you will. Here's 3 fair value gaps. Where's your entry? Now, what's the point of this, guys? I want us to all stay clear on the same page here. The point of this is to be ready for this type of stuff. It's going to be more frequent. It's going to be fast. It's going to be opportunistic. It's going to pay you if you keep your head on the swivel. Okay? Here's your 3 fair value gaps of the light bulb expansion. Boom. The entry is at 25,300. You don't know for a fact if it's going to reach down for that lowest target. Nor will it every single time. Right? No, bro beast, I'm glad you said that. Guys, this is, whether it's short or long, is completely irrelevant, okay? Being adaptable to the market. If it's a bearish market, you want to milk these out more. If it's a bullish market, you want to milk out the opposite, okay? Either one, it's still the same exact logic, okay? So, point being, guys, entry, 25,300. Target, 25,900. That's 400 points of potential. Now, some days, maybe it'll only run down to this target here. That's fine. That's still a 237-point move. You'll usually take reasonable profits below that first key daily low, and in the trending markets, hold the runners down below and really milk it out. Start trailing your stop loss, milk it out, and juice it as much as you can when it's high volume. This right here is a high volume move in tune with Model 3. That's your classic Model 3 fair value gap entry there. Right at 9:47 a.m. 9:48, excuse me. Right outside of that no trading zone. Now, oh, wait a minute. What about the 10 a.m. opening? That's the thing, guys. A lot of these trending moves are going to happen early in the day. Okay, if it's really high volume and it's on a mission, and if overnight consolidated specifically. Okay, so if overnight consolidated specifically, you're going to anticipate just around a little bit before and sometimes a little bit after 10 a.m. to start the real expansion, okay? To kind of recoup ourselves. Above midnight opening, wait for that manipulation. Okay, again, everything vice versa for a bullish example. Right now, we're a part of a bearish market, so we're going to be favoring this. Once we enter a bullish market, vice versa, we'll favor the upside, right? For this example, the only thing that I didn't cover now was the hourly PO3. Oh, where does hourly PO3 come in play? Glad you asked. Here's your 9 a.m. hourly candle. Opening. Okay. The prior candle already manipulated to the upside into this key level above this high, and then this here was a higher time frame inefficiency. We tapped up into that. Once we get to 9 a.m., there's really not much of a need to truly manipulate on that hourly candle high. Okay, just want to see it expand. So if you go down to the 15-minute, we had 8:30 news that propelled us higher. Manipulated. Here's that hourly candle opening. Manipulation was already done, so the work is finished. Now we want to catch that distribution. Okay, so if you have your checklist by your side, you know model number 3, you seek out high volume days like this. The closer we get to spring, the more you're going to be able to catch monster moves. Okay, and again, don't expect to catch every one of them because you're not. All you need is to catch a few of them. All right, so now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into this secret weapon, okay? First of all, does everyone understand what I just covered as well? Okay, it's the same basic principles of Model 3. It's the same exact thing, guys. Okay, nothing changed at all. It's just Model 3, but you want to anticipate this more frequent moves in spring like this, okay? Same exact thing as Model 3, except it's more frequent, it's more strong, trending, large range movement. That's the only difference. With that said, guys, as I showed you on the slideshow, man, let me show it for the people that didn't see in the beginning. This past week, okay, to close this out, we had 3 high quality setups without this new secret weapon that I'm about to show you guys. 3, which is great. That's great, okay? But 3 high quality setups, maybe a guy that comes in, he didn't do as well as I did. Maybe he missed the setups that I took, work got in the way, whatever. You know, it would be nice to have something that sometimes gives you another chance. And that's what this secret weapon is going to do, specifically in high volume markets, okay? So let's dive into this, guys. To briefly overview to keep everyone on track. Here was the first high quality setup of the week. We took this live on stream. Boom. A bullish Model 3. It was perfect. Wednesday, high resistance model number 3 that we took. It took me 2 attempts, but I got paid. Those are the 2 setups that I caught in the week. The third one was this bearish Model 3 here. Okay. There's 2 setups in particular that I can think about where we could utilize a secret weapon, guys. Number 1 is Tuesday. The second one, Friday. Let's go take a look at this. Now, it's not a secret of what this secret weapon is, guys. Okay, let's get that clear. We're obviously going to be utilizing the 30-second and the 15-second chart for entries in a high volume market. Okay, I've been doing a lot of studying on this, and it turns out it opens up a lot of opportunities. Okay, and gives you more chances if you mess up. Okay, here we go. You can do all the checklist business. All right, it's awesome. We came down, boom. We swept out an old session low. Right below that 930 manipulation. We had a double top here generated, right? Really obvious. And we're still a part of a bullish trending market at the time of this setup. If I can draw stuff correctly here, guys, excuse me. So really obvious stacked highs, you know, where we, you know, just your typical Model 3 business, right? We wait for it to tag a key level, wait for it to expand in the direction of really obvious key highs. Okay, now we can go down to our 15-minute. We did have solid body candles manipulating lower, and we shifted above that. That's great. Okay, let's go in deeper. 5-minute chart. Here we are. Look at this solid body 5-minute down candle, guys. Clear change of state delivery. Yada yada. Everything was checked off the checklist. But the only thing that was missing was my actual entry. If you guys saw real time on the live stream, I was like, ah, damn it. Damn it, dude. No entry. Why? Because it just literally just blasted off all in one leg to these obvious stacked highs, right? So these were the obvious stacked highs here, old daily highs, right? Key daily highs in the market. This was your actual Model 3 target, right? This is your typical low-hanging fruit that I was telling you guys about in the consolidating markets pre-spring. We had this Model 3 target marked out on stream. Problem is, we weren't able to get a part of it. Now, what I didn't realize at the time of that stream was there's actually a secret weapon that we can pull out to catch really high volume Model 3s like this that typically don't offer an entry. Everything checked off the checklist once again, right? We come up right at 950, right outside the no trading zone, right at that, before that 10 a.m. hourly candle opening. We expand, just creates one singular gap. That's it. Then we expand again. And by the time we solidify a potential a little bit later of an entry, I don't really need to get perfect entries, but by the time we solidify these gaps, right, which is when this candle closes, look at where we're at. We're already basically at the Model 3 target high. So I'm knowing, even though it did expand a little bit further and then eventually just dumped crazy. Okay, if I'm taking entries this high and this close to the target, it's really low probability, or not really low probability, but a lot lower probability than anything else, okay? You usually don't want to play around with that. Then you're at risk of getting caught on the wrong side of SMT and maybe whatever the case may be, okay? So by the time these gaps are solidified, that shit's smoked. I missed the move, guys, right? Now, let's pull out this secret weapon called the 30-second chart and see if things would have opened up to me differently. Oh, shit. Look at that, man. Oh, shoot. Would you look at this? 30-second. Multiple gaps. Light bulb expansion. Changes state delivery on that higher time frame. Obvious stacked highs. Entry. 15-second. Guys, this is the lowest I will go. I'm not going to a 5-second. I'm not going to a 1-second. Look at that, man. Who thinks this looks insanely light bulb real time on the 15-second chart? This initial expansion. Look at that, man. It was hiding from this whole time. I mean, come on now. What do you guys see? I know you guys see it right away. You're like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's good. Right? You don't really have to think about it too much. It's right there. Same entry that we take all the time on the 1 minute, just it was performed on the 15-second. Okay? So, if I had this secret weapon in my hands last week, this is another setup that would have opened up to us. Why? Because all the criteria was there. Really obvious. Look at how obvious this is, man. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. All stacked highs. And if that wasn't enough, remember that double top I showed you on the 15-minute above? And then here's your time-based Model 3 target that was created out of the 930 opening range high. It's all there. Higher time frame changes of state. Key level. 9 a.m. hourly candle did its thing. Boom. 9:50 a.m. 10 o'clock hourly candle macro. Right? Well, look, guys, backtesting is irrelevant. Okay? I'm not going to backtest this. It's the same exact model, guys. It's literally the same exact model. Okay? Nothing's changing, except we're going to get more opportunities open to us in high volume markets. There's no need to backtest this at all. Just look at it in live price. If the market's extremely high volume, right, you can now use the same exact logic that we always use, just on the 15-second or the 30-second time frame for an entry. Okay? There's no need to backtest this at all. I promise you. It's the same exact thing as Model 3, just a secret weapon that we can utilize in high volume markets. So don't go trigger happy on this, guys. High volume markets. This today, February 10th, extremely high volume. I can scale down and look at this. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Oh, come on, man. Really? It has to be 2 to 3 for bad gaps? Yep. Why? Because this shit has to prove to me that larger funds and deep pockets are behind this move. And this is the easiest, most subtle way to see that. Okay? Even the risk to rewards looking awesome on the second chart. Boom. 50 handle stop, 106 handle take profit to the Model 3 target. So now we can upgrade the PowerPoint that I made for you guys. We now have 4 A-tier high quality setups confirmed last week with the utilization of our secret weapon, guys. Okay? Now, again, you don't need to catch all these setups. You only need one high quality setup and make it count per week. What this does, though, is opens up more opportunity for you if you miss setups, you messed up the prior one. It gives you more chances, more tries, like more lives on a video game, right? Come on, man. Who thinks this is beautiful? This is going to be a really good tool to utilize, especially now that we're hitting the trending markets, guys. Okay, when it's high volume, you can look at volume profile, by the way. You can look at that if you're newer. But for me, that has 6 years of market experience. I don't need to look at that stuff. I just see it real time, and it's a light bulb phenomenon, okay? But for this high volume day, absolutely was a valid Model 3 entry right there to the target. So, and once again, if we were looking at the 1 minute chart, right? We weren't looking at sub 1 minute. By the time the multiple gaps were solidified with smooth movement and proving it was light bulb, Again, it already closed right here. It was basically at the target. So didn't want to chase price at that point. So guys, look, things change, you adapt, and you get better, okay? Now, not to say I'm going to add all this complicated noise. Notice how I'm not doing that. It's not like some new concept. It's just a secret weapon that's going to help every single one of you that trade this model. Alrighty. Here, I have no idea if this is going to be it, by the way, guys, in terms of what I'm about to show you with this setup. I don't know if the second chart would have helped. I'm about to find out right now, though. I can think of another scenario last week, guys, where I had another Model 3 target mapped out in mind. I told you guys I wanted to see longs. The only problem was this thing was very manipulated, crazy high volume. It was just moving way too fast. Once again, I don't need to go down to the checklist with you guys right now, because if you do that on your own, you'll find that pretty much everything was there, right? We had really obvious opposing stacked highs with this trend line, right? We had a key level engaged with pre-market lows swept. We were below and manipulating below the opening prices. If you go down to the 1 minute, you scale down, try to find your entry. Oh, here's your multiple gaps. However, these were only solidified, right? Because this gap is only created once this candle closes. And this candle closed, by the time it creates these multiple gaps, it's already smashing the Model 3 target. So if I'm trying to chase price here, like I know it continued from here after this crazy manipulation. Really ugly, but this is the highest probability point to get paid every time, the Model 3 target. Lowest hanging fruit, right? This is the Model 3 target. 930 opening range high. It's a time-based high, low hanging fruit. Again, Model 3 target. We're going to implement this live, okay? I don't need to, once again, I don't need to back test this because, again, it's the same exact model. Nothing's changing. It's not a new concept. It's just a new time frame to help us catch moves we might not catch in high volume markets sometimes, okay? Alrighty, so let's go down to this 30-second chart. All right, remember the 1 minute, guys. The gaps weren't solidified until we already hit the target. It's such a high volume market, right? Super high volume market. It's moving hundreds of points with candles. If you see a 100, you don't even need to look at volume profile, man. If you see a 100-point 1 minute candle, or even a 50-point 1 minute candle, volume's high as shit, guys, okay? Simple. Alrighty, so let's look at the difference on the 30-second chart now. Is this light bulb to you? In the direction of obvious draws? Yeah, look at this double top here. Yes. Okay, let me reiterate the 15-minute chart. We're going to trend line build up here as well. Everything was obvious to the upside in terms of draws. Here's your 1 minute chart. Again, gaps weren't solidified until we already hit the target. 30-second, just a subtle change. Whoa. Look at that. Look at that, man. 1, 2, 3. Remember, a minimum of 2. These are really large, solid body light bulb gaps created here. Once this candle closes, you now have your multiple gaps solidified, and you can take your Model 3 entry up to the Model 3 target. Stop goes below the gaps. Okay, so here you're looking at 98 handle stop, realistically, and 107-point take profit. Beautiful. Boom. Before we implemented this secret weapon of ours, guys, again, it's not a new concept. It's not some overcomplicating thing. It's just something we can utilize in very high volume markets. And if you have to ask if it's a high volume market, it's probably not a high volume market. You're going to know. Okay, you will know, I promise you. So, 3 high quality setups on the surface level, just using the 1 minute chart for entries. With utilization of these 30-second, 15-second charts, 5. Doesn't mean that you need to catch every setup. This means, like I explained earlier, it gives you more tries, more opportunity to get it right. Especially if you're still developing, it's going to be very useful, okay? And I just really want to reiterate, guys, okay? It's not an overcomplicated thing. The only difference is we pull this out in high volume markets. I just want to keep banging that over your head because I want you to remember the point of this in the first place. The point isn't to drop down to it every single day, right? So I know for a fact these are the only 2 days this would have been useful. Number 1, because volume was really high. Number 2, because I literally walked through this entire week with you guys live. and these were really high volume days. So 2 setups that open up to us. Now I want to show you guys this again. Be like, oh well, wait a minute. What about the retrace, man? There was no retrace into these gaps. Okay. If you guys seen my executions, you'll see a lot of the times, yes, I get my retrace and I take my retrace entry into the gap. But some of the time, like 20% of my executions, I take the trade without even a retrace into the gaps. Because you kind of get like, the more experience you gain, you realize you get a feel for the market. It's just how it is. You get a feel for the market. If you feel like, sometimes I feel like it's super fast and it might not even offer an entry because like how drastically fast it was to this Model 3 target high. Probably real time, I could have just been like, okay, there's the multiple gaps confirmed. Boom, we smashed through opposing up candles as well. I can take that as long as my stop covers those gaps, and again, targets at the Model 3 target. Okay. If it's just a regular market, I'm still on a standard basis on 80% of my setup, still gonna be taking 1 minute entries, right? Because I won't even need to look down here. Okay. But as you guys just seen, in setups like this where it's super fast, we're actually gonna be able to catch those and not miss them. Okay. So hopefully you guys found this one useful. What I covered was unlocking this secret weapon. If you think it's bullshit and you don't want to use it, that's fine. I know I am going to use it though. All right. It's going to be fun, especially in the trending markets of springtime popping off. Okay. Not only did I cover that, but on a standard basis with even just your 1 minute entries, okay, you can expect more large range days like this, especially after we wind up. Okay. You're not going to catch every one of these large range moves that have a bunch of high quality targets intact. Okay, but when you do catch them, you damn sure want to make them count like this and hold your runners, you know, hold for more points, whatever the case may be. You can start doing that stuff now that we're arriving deeper into the year and out of the January, February funk inside of this daily range. So